Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you another Jirachee's DPP Invitational. This is a round 1 matchup between ZF and GaryTheGengar. Quick disclaimer before we start this video: as per always, this tournament took place when Frostlass and Machamp were legal and Baton Pass was not unbanned yet. That being said though, let's jump right into this. Gyarados lead, Claydol lead. Claydol lead, a bit of an interesting lead. ZF's always been a creative player, brings very strange stuff sometimes, but Claydol had to switch out immediately, and Gary showing a Flygon right away. That is Scarf Flygon, that crit kills the Starmie. Normally that would not kill. Empoleon versus a Zapdos. Empoleon does not want to stay in here, and Zapdos is going to U-turn out into the Claydol. Claydol probably running rocks here. And yep, it gets rocks up and it explodes. So it is a fast Claydol. It was able to get the explosion off on the Gyarados and denying sub too. So really good start for ZF. Or at least not a bad start, to say the least. Evens out a little bit with the Starmie sequence earlier. And Gary's Heatran showing Magma Storm, probably Magma Taunt, but has to switch out here, and ZF's just going to mid-ground here. Superpower covers everything, and that takes out the Flygon. ZF does not want to stay in on that Starmie, but the Hydro Pump does kind of pitiful damage to Gyarados, but does threaten a T-Bolt potentially, and ooh, that is not great for ZF. Kind of an ugly game one so far, and Hydro Pump also kills the Tyranitar here. And it was just offensive Starmie, probably Colbur Berry, and the Gyarados is taken out. ZF is going to forfeit, and Gary is going to be up 1-0. That was a pretty ugly game, all things considered. That was kind of rough stuff to look at, to say the least. That being said though, let's jump right into game 2. Here we go. Frostlass lead, Ldios lead. Frostlass, back when it was legal, it was always a suicide spiker. And it will get 1 layer of spikes up. It's going to immediately go down. But that was probably Lumberry from the looks of it. Usually it's very useful against lead Breloom that runs Choice Scarf. And the DD Tyranitar is going to instantly take out the Skarmory. Normally +1 Fire Punch will not do the job here. And Gary is forced to switch the Rotom out, or rather trick the Scarf onto the Tyranitar to keep it from causing too much havoc. And the Breloom is going to be brought out here. Gliscor is going to be the Breloom answer, threatening a possible wing attack or Ice Fang. So Gary does not want to stay in there. ZF calls it and is able to get the Swords Dance up. Jirachee switches out, showing that it probably does not have Ice Punch, but it could also be Yache Berry for all we know. Tries the Rock Polish there, but instead gets burnt with a Surf. And ZF was surprised that the Ldios is slower. But yeah, Ldios on lead, if it's like specs, it sometimes will run something like 280, so that's not really unheard of. But the Gyarados looking like a immense threat right now. At +1. Does decent damage with return, but the Ldios will take out the Gyarados. However, there's now a free entry point for this Metagross, which looks to be Scarf. And Gary, not wanting to reveal information on his last, is going to forfeit here. So we've had some early forfeits in this series so far, but ZF is going to tie it up at 1 apiece. We have game 3 here. Zapdos lead versus Dragonite lead. Dragonite has to be weary of a possible Hinpower Ice from... and it's just going to tank that. So, but that is a physically defensive Zapdos, since it was able to eat the Outrage fairly comfortably. And immediately has to switch out against the Heatran, and Starmie is proven to be the answer against Heatran. And it is looking to be a mono Starmie with T-Wave plus Surf. And Obama Snow is thrown out here. Very, very nice check to have against Suicune, but ZF knows that Gary can't stay in here, so Leech Seeds gets a nice mid ground there. And the Hail is going to deal chip damage to Steel types, which is going to be very crucial in this matchup, as I'm sure ZF will want as much chip damage on Scizor and Heatran for that matter. And the Starmie is going to eat up that pursuit attempt from Scizor pretty easily. He has no fear knowing that Scizor can't do much, but that is a very defensive Starmie. Starmie recovers here, eats a Hinpar Electric to the face, does about 49%. Suicune is going to have to switch out here, and Tyranitar is brought out, looking to get a crunch off potentially, or even a pursuit trap. And gets the T-Wave hacks, so the Tyranitar will not be able to instantly threaten, and gets parried again. Gary must be very frustrated at that. Surfs again, paras again. So yeah, this is the reason why you sometimes run, and yeah, Gary's just got forfeit out of frustration. But yeah, so that is why Starmie sometimes runs Thunder Wave, because it is cases like these where you can kind of just get past the Tyranitar pretty easily and not have to think too hard, when you can just surf your way down and just get full paras every time. That being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.